So the star images that we aimed to include in our video were those three key ones, and those were creativity, talent, youthfulness, and anti-authoritarianism. So these are three things that we thought would really appeal to sort of like a young teenage demographic, which is what we were targeting. So firstly, in order to convey the creativity, talent sort of image, that was done through our recording studio section that was in our video. So we made the conscious decision to show the boys actually sort of recording the music and playing the instruments using sort of legitimate sort of kind of technical apparatus, if you like, in the recording studio. And that shows that they have sort of real talent in the field of music. The recording studio section of our video was inspired by George Ezra and his video "Leaving It Up to You," which shows him in the process of creating the song that the video is for, and it makes him look like a really organic artist, which is what we wanted to do. The digipack and the website also, aside from the video, tell the audience that the band are creative and talented. So on the digipack, the sort of amalgamation of the faces that are sort of chopped together, each part of the face from the band, it almost becomes like a piece of art, and it's a really creative way of displaying the band as a unit and as a group of people, not just sort of individuals, as a lot of bands do. You know, there's no leading man; they're equals, and that's a really interesting creative piece of artwork, I think. And also, there's a section on the website. There's like an info section, which tells sort of the history of the band, which is also on the inner panel of the digipack as well. And that explains that the boys write their own music and have always written their own music together. And that sort of hammers home the fact that they are both creative in the sense that they write their own music and they're not part of a record label which does it all for them. And they have real talent in the field of music, and they care about producing their own. And that made them sort of really unique, and quite boldly presented the band as indie and alternative, which was what we wanted to do.
We wanted to show the boys being youthful as a star image. This was shown mainly through the recording studio section of the video, where you see the boys messing around and having fun as friends. This is also reinforced through the digipack and website photos that we took throughout the making the music video and also in photo shoots. We can see this kind of attitude in the classic Beatles video for Hard Day's Night, which at the beginning of the video shows the band members having fun and being youthful.
And then finally, to convey anti-authoritarianism, we directed their performance in a way that would sort of make them look clearly upset and uncomfortable at being in what appeared to be a really heavily stylized environment that didn't really coincide with their sort of personal ethos as a band and the way they wanted to move forward as a band. So we tried to make that really clear through sort of like their facial expressions, and that sort of shows how they want to rebel against their direction and rebel against the instructions. And that's something that's reinforced when we actually see them doing what they love in the recording studio, which is obviously making the music. And we can see how happy they are, and we can see that their actual real personality comes through, and they don't need to rebel anymore, and they don't need to be anti-authoritarian. So this is something that's really sort of definable in the rock genre, and it was also supported by the costume. In terms of the anti-authoritarian attitude, we looked at similar bands from our genre, sort of like the Arctic Monkeys, who are sort of known for their sort of rebellious attitude, and we tried to really incorporate that into ours, but at the same time still make the boys likeable as sort of youthful band members.
So the pictures shown on the gallery of the website show also that the boys are kind of anti-authoritarian. However, this isn't portrayed very strongly through the digipack, as we didn't really want to overdo this message. Therefore, it's mainly carried through the video.
So, in terms of our branding, a huge part of creating the brand for our band was through the digipack, and we mainly used sort of like a colour palette of grey to create the digipack, because we thought that was quite a bold colour, and it was quite sterile and clean, and it resembled the Infinity background that we use in the music video. Those are both quite clean cut and quite bold colours, so that made them look synergistic.
A big part of the marketing for our act was done through the band themselves and the way they looked and represented themselves. For the digipack, on the front and the back, we were inspired by Kings of Leon and Blur, who use all their band members' faces and identity as on the front to kind of promote them. So for our front of the Digipack, we created a mixture of the four boys' faces in a kind of pop art theme, and this was then replicated on the back, but with the back of the heads.
And that went with the sort of the font and the typography which we chose, and those were really influential because once we chose them, they then, like with many bands in the real world, once you've chosen a font, once you've chosen a logo, that then becomes synergistic with all of your output, and it becomes part of every product that you put out. So this was featured on, our font was featured on both the website and the Digipack, as it does for most bands, and it was a really sort of useful marketing tool in creating something that was instantly recognisable to an audience, so a fan could see the font and immediately say, yeah, that's that band's font. Another way we did this was through designing our logo, which we did using Photoshop, and we made it sort of like a physical representation of the band's name, which was Elephant Castle. We put that on both our Digipack and our website as well. We called the band Elephant Castle because we thought that would be the area in London that they sort of originated from as a band, and that's where they met. This is sort of a really common thing to do with bands in our genre, such as Arctic Monkeys with sort of Sheffield, Oasis with Manchester, and the Beatles with Liverpool. Those are all sort of bands that use their sort of homecomings and their heritage as a really important part of their branding. We thought of a way to incorporate that sort of heritage into our branding was by using the tube map theme, which is really iconic of London.
Only featured on the Digipack and website, and the kind of whole theme of the website was mainly inspired by Alt J's very minimalistic and kind of simple homepage to a website. We felt this kind of represented the band as a very kind of, they don't like the whole production side, they just want to make the music.
So the Digipack, the video and the website, without doubt, I think look as though they belong to the same band, and they sort of reinforce the really alternative indie image that the band are going for, and they do that through sort of really unique branding and really interesting graphic design and performance features that we used in our video as well.
So considering cross-promotion, we feel as though we have presented the 4 band members across all 3 products to have genuine talent, and this we feel would then encourage viewers and fans to buy their products, not for the production side, but simply purely because they want to promote the 4 boys' talent.
And also the video allows the audience, allows fans to see firsthand the boys' sort of personalities. And this would maybe sort of compel them to go to a concert and see more of their personalities firsthand and see the way they sort of interact with each other. And also a lot of artists these days sell meet and greet tickets at concerts where fans will get to meet the band for a short period of time after the concert, and that would maybe promote that sort of side of it as well, because you can see from the video that the boys have like real personality and real character, and that's shown on the pictures in the website as well. And if you're a true fan, you might want to experience more of that, or meet them, or see how they interact with each other. So that might encourage them to do that. But also on the other hand, the video also has a lot of likes and a lot of production values that would encourage someone to buy tickets to see the band live, because then they'd expect to see a real sort of high quality production, with lots of production values that'd be really exciting to see. And you can see that from the last part of our video with all the lights and the sort of the tracking camera and stuff like that. And then the website specifically sort of plays a really important role in cross-promoting the other products and possibly other things that the record label might sell in relation to the band. So the website features a YouTube link of the video that we've made, and it also features a link to buy the album, which is obviously represented through the picture of our Digipack. Furthermore, there's a live page which shows that the band is sort of sold out in various different places on various different dates across the country, and sort of displays some information of how you can buy tickets to see the band live. So then it promotes them as a live act as well, and also it features a merchandise page which sells sort of t-shirts and vinyl records. So that gives like real true fans of the band a chance to sort of legitimise their support by buying memorabilia and merchandise and things like that.
Along with the creativity and talent that the boys kind of portray throughout all 3 products, there's also an element of attractiveness, and this would appeal a lot to the young female audience, especially in today's strong fangirl culture. Lots of girls would want to buy as many products and buy as much merchandise and anything they could do to support the boys to have the most content and to be the biggest fan.
And that's a really important thing for bands like One Direction today. They sort of survive off that fangirl culture, which they just want to be so involved with the band and their personalities. So try and incorporate that into ours as well as showing that they have actual talent and are nice guys as well.
Waste your time on lessons learned. How long will you go? Will you go? Will you go? And waste your time on lessons learned. How long will you go? Will you go? Will you go? And waste your time on lessons learned.